Hey, this is a very, very special, you asked for it so you get it video for Unexplained. He posted something on Home Poi today asking for somebody to do a breakdown of how Nick Woolsey is doing this particular move in his spiral wraps video, which of course are these. So, it's actually a really, really similar idea. If you're at the point where you've got your spiral wraps down, you're actually most of the way there. Spiral wraps, of course, happen when your hands have no distance between them whatsoever. They just go back and forth, right? Whereas if, say, you take the distance between handle and head of poi, keep your hands that far apart, and let the poi come together, what you'll find is that you've got just enough slack to be able to catch the heads. And I recommend starting off just with the poi equidistant in front of you, so that you have to keep the movements of your hand at an absolute minimum. Whichever hand is going down is going to require a little bit of effort because you got to keep your motion, right? Once you get comfortable with this, you can switch it around so that one hand is above the other, like so. Or you can also catch it and let it loose out of there like that. I think actually Nick demos this one in another video too. And once you get to that point, it's a really simple matter of getting the same thing to happen with your arms crossed. You can even catch it for a second if you want, and let it go again. And once you get pretty comfortable with that, it's a very easy matter to say, start equidistant, then go to one on the top. Okay, start equidistant, then go to one on top, then go to them crossed. Go back to the equal distance, one on top, one on bottom, and crossed. So what you should be taking away from this is that your hands are actually moving around the circle in a particular order. You can also go to the point where you try random variations on that, just seeing, you know, what can I get to happen when? Okay, I'll try a top one, and a bottom. I'll try a top one and a bottom one. Oh yeah, so if you're having problems with your hands, with your poi slipping off your hand as it's doing this, try juggling your hand a little bit further forward. You're going to wind up catching it on your wrist, but just so long as you can pull out of it, I think you'll be fine. So, yeah, try, I haven't used these poi forever. Try some random variations on this. See what you can get in and out of. Now, if you want to get a little further down the rabbit hole, you can start experimenting with the idea of doing spiral wraps off different parts of your body. So, for example, in New York, I knew a guy named D.B. Caro who was very fond of doing his wraps off of his upper arm, like this, right? And he had a very nifty little move where he'd actually switch the direction of his weaves by doing wraps off his upper arms in the middle of a waist wrap, right? You can also approach this as another means of doing spiral wraps, which leads to another really fun variation where if you start in split time, you can actually get one to wrap around your upper arm and the other to wrap around your hand, like so. And the key to getting this one down is that whichever hand is going to form the angle, that is, wrap around its own upper arm, you want to tilt your hand back down towards your face so that there's a surface to catch the other poi on, like so. then you can come out of it much easier. Timing on this one's also a little tricky because you basically have to wait until whichever hand you're catching on, the poise moved out of the way. Finally, if you want to do something that's kind of silly but will look good to a crowd, you can always do spiral wraps around your legs, like so. You can either go with the same method of catch one above and one below, or you can spiral wrap them around the leg itself, which I personally think is a little bit lame, but you know, if it's what floats your boat, then go for it. So, once again, it's just a matter of keeping them in the same plane. So to review, we have spiral wraps, we have wraps 1 poi distance apart, we have wraps around the upper arms, we have a wrap over upper arm and hand. Oh wait, it really has been a while since I've used these. And we have either 1 poise distance wrapping around the legs, or just doing a spiral wrap around the leg itself, like so. There's a whole bunch more variations out there. Robo, for example, is very fond of doing this trick where he starts an air wrap and then catching him out of that and doing similar kind of spiral wrap tricks with it. But I'm pretty rubbish at those tricks, so I'd recommend you go check out his videos instead. Anyways, so yeah, those are a bunch of spiral wrap variations. Enjoy!